Hi, everybody. My name is Mohtasham Yaqub, and I will put non-controversial things from Gandhi in my immigrant jam.
Holy moly!
I know. So the list.
Welcome back to Immigrant Jam, the podcast. It's me, your host, Lucy Polio. We're so happy to be back. It's such a beautiful day. We hope that you're all happy and healthy and have great bowel movements all around. And maybe the sun is shining wherever you are. Very exciting, very exciting, very exciting. My guest today is a comedian, a man about town, a funny duderoni, a master of impressions, a master of sweet talk, and gets frequent erections in the wind. We will get into all of it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to welcome to Immigrant Jam, le podcaster, the very famous and very infamous Mohtasham Yaqub.
Yay!
Okay, so Mike and I both know you, and you are a pervert. No,
Wow, and then the podcast just ends. You know?
Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun,
But
dun.
you introduced yourself to me and Mike as Mo, and now you're pretending your name is Mohtasham. What's
Okay.
up with that?
First of all, it was always Mohtasham.
That's what you say.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I always wanted it to be Mohtasham, and I came to America 10 years ago. I went to St. Cloud State University, small university in Minnesota.
Okay.
I swear to God,
Why'd you say that so threateningly?
because it was threatening. My international student orientation teacher was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was like, Mohtasham. She was like, "Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm going to call you Mo." So I was like, okay. So then I had to tell people it's Mo after that.
Wow.
And then now people are getting canceled. So I was like, you know what? They should get canceled for not saying my real name. So now I make people say my real name.
So the woman got canceled?
No, I think she's the director of the organization.
She got a promotion.
Yeah, she's director of like immigrant students.
What?
Yeah.
No. Where was she from?
She was white. She was from Minnesota. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So They talk like this a little bit, don't they? No, I can't do that accent.
You have no idea how many immigrant people I know, my friends, who have like American names just because people couldn't say
Oh,
their
yeah.
real name, and
course.
they just gave them that name.
Yes. Very, very common with Chinese kids.
Yep. I have a Korean friend. His real name is Busung Kang, and he was at Starbucks, and she was like, "Hey, what's your name?" She goes, like,
First
Busung
mistake
Kang.
that he went to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Who goes to Starbucks? You're asking
immigrants.
for it.
Immigrants.
No,
Yeah.
no, too
Yeah.
expensive and it sucks.
I know, but movies, you know what I mean?
Okay, so
Yeah.
question.
Yes.
What's in a name?
What does that mean?
What's in a name? Why is it
Yeah.
important?
Identity. Why not? Yeah.
No, I'm not saying
Mo-
it's not. I'm asking you.
For me, my name is very important to me because it is very unique. You
Is
know?
it also unique?
Oh yeah, in Pakistan,
Pakistan?
yeah. I have a joke about that where I tell people, you know how every immigrant in America has the same story? They're like, well, when I was in kindergarten, the professor is going through the class list and she stopped. That's when I knew she came across my name. So I rose my hand. Oh, racism, right? Yeah, that shit was happening to me in Pakistan. Yeah, like Pakistani teachers would go through the roster and stop and be like, okay, what the fuck is this shit?
Really? Is it a
Yeah.
made up name? Is it not?
No, it's like a Persian name, but it's like an extinct name that nobody really uses. I still remember my dad told me this, like Mohtasham was a big Persian poet, and he wrote a lot of poems against the government, and you know that was creating an uprising. And they wanted to stop him, so they just grabbed him, put it in like rugs, rolled him around, tied him, put it in him in the desert, and he suffocated in those, and he died. and now they make these carpets in his memory and rugs and call them Motasham. Yeah, my dad told me that story when I was 3 years old. And I was like, yeah, pretty traumatic. And it was like, yep, and that experience reminded me of your birth. So I was like, I'm gonna name
He's like,
you
and if you don't
Motasham.
study hard, we're rolling you up in this carpet.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. And Motasham, I think the literal translation is like pious something, but then also carpets.
Pious something carpet banger.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Carpet tie down person. Yeah. Yeah.
Pious carpet muncher.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. Okay, you grew up in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
12 years of my life lived in Pakistan. Very luxurious life.
Where in Pakistan?
Islamabad, the capital.
Okay.
I have a very weird household kind of situation.
What do you mean?
So like my parents grew up in a village together, and before they were born, my grandparents decided that okay, they're gonna get married.
Before they were born.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was like
Because
either
they were
him,
friends. The grandparents were friends.
they're like second cousins or something like that.
That's
yeah.
okay.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying that it's okay, but it wasn't, you know. And like all of us siblings have anxiety, and our parents are like, oh, I don't know why. I was like, could be because you guys are kind of related to
Well,
each
you
other.
got off easy
Anyways.
if you have anxiety. Everybody has anxiety. Your
I know.
eyes could be a lot closer together, and you could,
I know.
could be a lot worse.
I know. But yeah, and then my grandfather, my mom's dad, went to the city, and he got really famous and successful and rich. And then my dad
As
said,
what? Famous as what?
so he's like a very famous Qari. So he's like kind of like the Pope of Pakistan.
Oh, what do you call it?
Qari.
Kari? Oh,
Yeah. So like the Quran, right? The
Mhm.
book. He like kind of like recites it / so it's like a
he's a
how to put it
Quran
in layman-
rapper.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
An
yeah.
old school Quran
Yep,
rapper.
yep.
But not the because
You know how like you,
aren't they called
mullahs,
no
Maulvis?
Musaddin?
No, that's different.
The ones that call out the prayers.
Yeah. That's different.
That's different.
Yeah, he's
Where
not
does
that.
he recite it?
He is so like before any parliamentary proceedings in the country or any functions or stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
He was the first non-Saudi person ever to do it in Saudi radio. Like
Wow.
people have done it after him, but he was like the first non-Saudi. Yeah, he was the Eminem of Islam, basically. Yeah, he's the first one to do it and rep it. Now there's a lot of Machine Gun Kellys, but whatever. So yeah, and that so.
So your grandparents decided that your parents would get married before they were born
Yeah, pretty
in
much.
the village, and
Yeah.
then
And then, my mom's side of the family moved to the city. And they
Yeah.
got really rich. My dad's side of the family were still, to this day, are in the village. And, they're poor. So, yeah. And then they got married and my dad moved to the city. So we moved with him.
so this was good because she had to bring the money, right?
I mean,
Your
my
mom had
dad.
to bring the money.
No, not really. My dad works and stuff,
No, but I
we
mean,
live
traditionally, don't the women bring the money?
like, not bribery.
Dowry?
Dowry?
Bribe.
Yeah, bribery. Yeah, you
Oops,
need some
Freudian
cash.
slip
Yeah.
We know what Mo thinks of getting married.
Yeah, it's a bribe. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to get married to me, it's
You have to
definitely a
bribe
bribe.
him.
Yeah. But yeah, dowry. Yeah. Yeah, I think he got dowry.
Yeah.
This is how big my mom's wedding was. Like the prime minister of Pakistan came to her wedding.
Oh wow. So you're like you're like upper crust. Upper
Yeah,
Pakistani crust.
so because of my grandfather, we were like very big in the country, pretty much. Yeah.
So when you go, are people like do people like,
Like,
fall on the ground in
No,
front of you
no,
and
no,
stuff?
no, no, no. Only the servants we have at our house do that. But outside, in the streets, nobody's doing it. But
So you
inside the
grew up
house,
with
they better.
servants
No.
and stuff.
Yeah. Which is very common for Pakistan. People don't realize
Right.
it.
No,
Even
no,
if
I
you're
know,
middle
yeah.
class,
Right.
you have servants.
Yeah.
Which is very sad. Like we had a guy who stayed with us when he was 14. Since he was 14, he's been living in our house,
And working
and
for
helping
you
us.
guys?
Yeah.
Oh, no!
He was our driver. Yeah.
A 14-year-old kid?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't really a driver at first, you know? He was just helping around in the
It
house.
was just the coffee table at first.
Yeah. yeah. But then he graduated, you know. He proved his worth in a cage
Was
match.
he Pakistani or are they from other places?
No,
the
they're all
servants?
Pakistani.
They're all Pakistani.
And they're mostly from our villages. So the way that is worked in our household is, you know, like still caste system is a big thing. So there's a lot of like people from our villages from lower castes, you know, who aren't as educated or don't have that opportunities will like come to these bigger cities and work at like, you know, rich people's. I'm not saying this is like the right thing or whatever. It is kind of fucked up, but still, you know.
So have you met the Prime Minister of Pakistan? Is he still
The
in
current
your
one?
family's life?
No, I haven't met the current one.
Are you like a prince in Pakistan?
No, most definitely not.
Why are you saying it into the camera like that?
Huh? It's just a. No, I'm not. You know. Am I? No.
You are. You're the Prince of
No.
Pakistan.
Yeah, Prince of Pakistan. Hell no. There's so many rich people in Pakistan. I'm not even middle class, but kinda. But yeah,
So you truly took a downgrade coming here.
yes, 100%. Yeah,
Are your parents sad that you did this and that you're a comedian? Do they know?
they know now. I used to be an actor in Pakistan, so they understand it. Yeah,
Oh.
I was.
So are you famous in Pakistan?
At one point, I was.
What the fuck?
I know, right? At
What
one
kind of
point, I
stuff
was.
were you in?
So what happened was, let me rewind it back.
Okay, please rewind. Pakistan.
Growing up in the college that I went to, the school that I went to,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know how like you guys over here have like the jocks and you know
I didn't go to college here.
like the emos or like high school,
Yes, high school, yes.
like the emos and the jocks
Mm.
and the you know
yeah.
like these are the nerds or whatever, like
Yeah.
these kind of groups. Our groups are like, okay, these are the rich kids and these are the not so rich kids. You know?
No.
And if you're like part of that, you had to do something to kind of stand out. So there's like two big events. One is sports day. So they literally put everybody in a line, like in a classroom, make them race. And whoever like the top 10 kids are, they select them to like race in the annual sports day event, right? I was so bad. We had to like touch a wall and come back from where we started. Everybody will come back, and that's the time I would be touching the wall. I'm pretty sure, like, if there were like kids in our class in wheelchairs, they would have won.
Oh, no. So they
That's
were
how
like,
bad I was.
you should be an actor.
Yeah,
You're useless. You should be an actor.
that is literally what happened. They're like, because I had like too much energy. They're like, well, we should do something with him. So sports day is one, and then the biggest one is like annual function. That's what we call it. That's where we have like school plays and stuff like that. I was maybe in first grade, and the teachers were like, I guess we can put him in the play or whatever to like get his energy out. So they put me in theater. My first play ever was Jungle Book. No lines, no nothing. They literally put me in shorts, put me on stage, played the Jungle Book theme music, and they were like, okay, dance. And I did that for like 5 minutes. But the music would go on loop.
Just you?
Just me.
Wait, you were the only one performing the
Yeah.
play?
Yeah.
But
And
they
then there were
didn't-
like
but I
other
guess
guys.
they didn't know what a play is then.
They had like other kids that were like trees, and they were just standing in the background, or rabbits, and they would just hop.
And you were Mowgli?
And then I was Mowgli, just like naked dancing on stage.
Maybe because your name was Mowgli.
Yeah, probably. It was Motasham there. But
No, but it started with a Mo.
no, they're like they're like
Wow. And
that's
then
the
you were
only
like,
Hollywood representation we
I
had
want
at that time.
this. I want this to be my career. I want to do this forever.
That was the only way to get recognized, at least in the school.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like keep doing this.
Okay.
Then I was like, yeah. Then we did like our rendition of like Romeo and Juliet, and I was in that, and I've done that since like I was like all the way up till high school. But then there was like a shooting happening outside my house. Not the pshoom, but the film shooting.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Pakistan, have to be clear. on that.
And here you have to be clear.
Yeah, that's
More
true.
than in
Yeah. There was a shooting at my school here. Not the, but the, anyways.
film, the
yeah,
film
the film shooting.
The film shoot.
And there's some guy, he was like, oh, kids, do you want to do like insertions? So they would like, there was a scene where people would talk and we just had to listen and nod our heads. And every kid was just like straight up. And I was just like, oh, yeah, yeah. And the director was like, hey, do you act? And I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, I was in the Jungle Book.
Yeah. Should I dance for you in my underwear?
You
He was
still
like,
know
come
the
to my
dance?
studio. It was just random. It was it wasn't choreographed or anything.
You don't remember what you did?
We didn't
You did
even
this?
we didn't even have rehearsals. It was just, okay, today is the dress rehearsal, and that was my first day on set. And I was just on stage. I was
So
like,
then
okay,
the
I guess.
director was like, hey, you got something, kid.
Pretty much. And then he was like, okay, come to my studio, which sounds so sleazy.
That sounds creepy, yeah.
So come to my studio. I am doing this play, and do you want to be a part of it? I have like a very small role for you. I was like, okay, perfect. It was like a Eid play.
Okay.
So Eid is like our Christmas.
Yeah.
And every Christmas / Eid, we have like a 1 episode TV show where it's like Eid themed, you know, which like has like a motivational thing at the end, you know, like, guys, if you work hard, you know, you too can achieve it or whatever. I did the audition. It was a table read. And in the script, the kid had like a backpack on. So I brought a backpack with me.
How old were you?
Like 14, maybe 15.
Oh, okay.
And I had to read the lines, but I like got on the table and started doing my lines.
Did you pull your pants down?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't doing Mowgli. I had a couple lines. This kid gets mad, so he like throws away his backpack or whatever. And he just wanted me to read the script. It was supposed to be a table read.
But you went all out.
I just got into it. I just stood up on the table,
Wow.
put a backpack, threw the backpack down, and blah blah. And yeah, he was like, "Well, I just wanted you to sit down and read," and then he made me read some other lines, and he gave me like the lead role after that. He was like, "Oh, this is perfect." So my first thing ever was, you know, like a lead thing on this thing. Then I worked with that director for a couple of years. And then after that, you know, I started getting more opportunities. The time I left, I was at the point where like people will like give me scripts and be like, hey, read this. Would you want to do this part? But I was just exhausted. So I like kind of like quit.
Why? And that's why you left? Because you were exhausted with being a famous actor?
It wasn't, I was recognized on the streets, but I was still getting bullied in school. So I was like, what's the point?
Oh, okay. You were still in school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still getting bullied in school. Rich kids, they were like, we don't give a fuck, you know? Like, girls still didn't like me. They were like, yeah,
Really?
but yeah. They're like, you might be famous, but you still look like this. So I was like, okay, I guess, you know? And then, like, every summer, because my parents are like, this is how involved they were. They're like, okay, if you want to do it on yourself, whatever. You know, we're not making an effort to do that. So the crew bus or like van will come every morning. And since it was inside a studio, they had to like set up 2 hours before because they had to do the lighting and everything. I would come with the crew and I would be there like 7 a.m. at the studio, and I had to be there at 1 p.m. But there was nobody who was like willing to like drop me off. They're like, yeah, the crew will take care of it. And then I had to leave with the crew,
This
which
is
was
a
at
real
midnight.
tragic story of struggle.
Yeah.
There was
Was-
no one to drive me to the film set. I thought you had servants. What happened to the 14-year-old driver?
I know. They were like, no, we don't have time. We have to do other things at home. So I was like, okay, I guess. My parents made it very clear. If you want to do it, you can do it by yourself, but we're not facilitating any
Yeah,
of
I
this.
mean,
was
look
like,
at The Rock. He walked 7 miles every
Did he
day.
really?
Yeah, that's a true story.
Really?
To
I
get his job at the gas station. See?
find it hard to
You
believe.
could have been
but
the Rock
sure.
of Pakistan.
I was the Rock of Pakistan. Yeah,
You are the Rock of Pakistan.
I am the most muscular guy from Pakistan. So, yeah, you have no idea. Also, this is true. American kids just get huge so quick. Like 14-year-old American boys look
Huge?
like
What do you mean?
like in size.
Oh.
14-year-old American boys look like 25-year-old Pakistani men.
Tell me about it. I had one. No.
Like legit, if in high school, the tallest kid in our class was like 5'5", maybe.
You're talking to the wrong person.
I know.
I'm 5'1".
I know.
So
I was 5'4" till I was like 18.
And
17,
now you
18.
are?
Like 6 feet.
you are?
Yeah.
Really? Or just
No,
like
for
on
real.
an app?
No. For real. For real. For real.
So, so you moved to the States as a teenager,
No.
as an adult.
Yeah. Because then I stopped. So acting was like, I would go to school. Acting was all summer. And then I just stopped doing it. There was this director who was like the only person in like Pakistan, especially on PTV at that time, who was really into method acting.
I
And
thought
he
you
was-
were going to say meth.
No,
like
no, no.
meth.
And meth.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, I have this role for you. It's for this like slum kid, but I want you to not cut your nails for like 30 days, not brush your teeth for 30 days.
What?
I really want you to get into character, grow your hair long. Are you willing to do that? And I looked at him and I was like, no.
You were like, I'm the Prince of Pakistan.
Yeah, I was
you
like, no, I'm not
peasant."
willing to do that. And then he looked at the other director and he was like, why did you bring him here? And the guy was like, I'm so sorry, sir. I think he'll be perfect for this. And I was like, I don't want to do this.
And you were like, and that was the movie Slumdog Millionaire. And that guy
And
is
I could have been
now-
Dev Patel, but I still regret
Holy
it to this
shit.
day that I
Do
didn't
you?
do it. Yeah.
Why? Why do you regret it?
It would have been an amazing experience working with that guy. You know,
Really?
yeah.
Why do you think that?
I would have learned so much, at such a young age.
But don't you think you learned something by saying no and regretting it?
Yeah. That I should have said yes. That's what I learned. That's what I learned.
But that's a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
You gotta learn that.
Yeah. You always say yes. That's the valuable lesson. If a sleazy guy asks you, like, come to my studio, Marcel, just remember, guys, say yes. If you want to
Stop
make it in this country, if you want to make it in Hollywood,
Okay.
say yes.
And that was like the end of your career there because
Yeah,
you said
pretty
no to
much.
that?
Pretty much. And then I just didn't want to do it.
Mm.
And then I stopped. And it was like,
And you were what, 20, 18?
no, like 16,
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
Yeah. And it was weird because it was single cam. So like each scene
Camera
had to,
for people that don't know the
yeah, there was like just
lingo.
one camera and they had to do the same take from different angles, So we had to like deliver the lines like this, like 5-6 times probably. And it was just like a cumbersome way of doing things.
So
But-
you probably just wanted to be a kid, right?
yeah, what I thought I would get out of it, I wasn't. And I was like, yeah, I don't want
You mean the
pussy?
pussy?
The ladies. No, it was just a little bit of love from people.
Mm.
Yeah, recognition. I just didn't want to get hit every time at school.
You got bullied a lot?
Oh, so much.
For what?
So much. Just not being good looking.
Was everybody
And-
like insanely good looking? What?
No,
Oh.
there's just, and then they were just like, yeah, you're annoying. We don't want to be around you. I was like, okay.
Wow.
I was just a kid with like too much energy,
Okay.
And I would just wanted to be part of like groups. It's so weird. Like, my main bullies I still follow on Facebook and LinkedIn every now and then, and they're still doing way better than me in life. So one day when I like cross by them, I'll say they're
What
there.
do you mean they're doing better than you
Oh
in
man,
life?
Ivy League graduates, just
But
still
that's not what you
rich.
wanted to do.
I know, but they're
So-
like, still handsome, rich, and I'm like, yeah,
Dead inside.
I hope so.
So you
Yeah.
think that's why you became a comedian?
No,
To fit in? To make people laugh and like you?
no.
Oh, okay.
My whole thing was, since you brought up the impression thing, that was
Yeah.
my only way of like having people like me.
Mm-hmm.
Was I would just do like impressions of like people who would bully me, and then
Right.
they'll kind of laugh and stop. But the way I got into like stand up was, then I was in college here. I wanted to be an accountant.
What?
Yeah, my uncle was an accountant. He has his own accounting firm. He had a BMW here, and I was like, that's how you get a BMW, is be an accountant. So I had to fight my dad because my dad wanted me to be an engineer, to be like, I want to be an
You
accountant.
know that Boys to Men broke up and then one of them became an accountant.
accountant?
Right?
That
yeah,
is
he's
so
an accountant.
stupid.
Imagine
That's stupid.
one of the Boys to Men guys is your accountant. And he said in an interview he just needed to like follow his dream
Of being an accountant?
of being an accountant. It was the funniest thing I've
Goddamn,
seen.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. you owe the IRS.
Yeah,
And
he's
then
like,
just
and
people
I
started
swear
like, yeah,
that
you
owe
owe to the IRS.
Exactly. So you were a famous teeny
Yeah.
star.
Yeah.
Then you quit. Then you went to
Yeah.
college. You tried to become an accountant.
Yeah. Then my last semester in college, last one, the professor was like, yeah, to graduate, I had to take this like one class extra, like a general's class, right? I was late to register it. It was called like something daily life or whatever.
Something daily.
Yeah,
life.
it was
Okay.
a stupid class. Communications in daily life or something like
Okay.
that. The professor was like, well, you're late in registering. You missed an exam. So if you want like cover it up, I can do extra credit. So there are like a bunch of things that I could done. One of them was there was like a theater play. There was auditions happening. And they just wanted to do like communication. So they were like, okay, give the audition and write a paper on it of how your experience was, you know. And there were like a couple of other things like, you know, do something with a non-for-profit and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that I know. So let me do that. So I did that. I auditioned. I got the lead in that theater play. It's called King Stag. And I did that and I had so much fun. And I was like, why did I ever stop? You know? And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, try and become an actor again. And yeah.
But now you're doing comedy. You're leaving
Which
out
was
a
also
bit.
weird, yeah. So I started applying to like different agencies. There's this agency called John Casablancas. They reached out. They were like, "Hey, we would like you. So we really like your work." And I don't even remember submitting it. And it was truly a scam. It was legit a scam. They're like, "Hey, come over," you know, blah blah. So we went to this like thing. There's like, you know, like parents with their kids, you know, where like you could clearly tell because of the plastic surgery the parents had that they wanted to be actors, but that
Right.
never happened. So they really want their kids to be actors. And I swear to God, there were like plants in the audience because this guy came with like strobe lights. So they were like, okay, the main guy's coming, you know, whatever. And then like it all went dark, and then there was like strobe lights with music, and this guy walks in, and he was like, "Who wants to be famous?" You know,
No.
I swear to God,
In
it was
North
like
Carolina?
no, it was like Minnesota,
Oh,
right?
Minnesota. Why
It was
did
like
I
a
think North
bald
Carolina?
guy with like chains and stuff, like a gold watch, and he just walked in. Who wants to be famous? And then he like picked out one guy. He goes like, "How badly do you want to be famous?" And he goes like, "Yeah, I don't know." He goes like, "Not the correct attitude. Get the fuck out of this place."
No.
So that was definitely a plant. I know for a fact. And he was like, "Oh, okay," you know, just embarrassed. And he goes like, "Who else?" So then everybody got perked up. I'm like, I don't want to get kicked out. So we're like, "How famous do you want to be?" And people are screaming. They're like, "Yes, I want to be famous."
No.
Yeah. And then he like showed like the progressive lady, you know, and a picture with him on like a PowerPoint slide. He was like, "You see her, Flo? I was the one who got her that job. She makes,
No, stop.
I swear to God, she makes $2 million a year. Do you want to make $2 million a year?" Some guy was like, "I'm not doing it for the money." Get the fuck out. Yes, I want to make more than $2 million. So then he was like, "Okay, now I'm going to like audition each one of you." So then he went to this separate room. He had everybody come in individually, you know, do a monologue, right? So I did a monologue. He was like, just like, you know, writing down on a paper. And then the lady who was organizing was like, "Okay, guys, you all can go home now. Usually we only select one person from this. So if you're the chosen one, we're going to call you." So I was like, "Okay, let's see what happens." Go get the call, you know, like, "Hey, they've chosen you." And I'm pretty sure they called literally everybody at different times. Because I remember I was walking in and I saw like the kid in the car, you know, like the same kid I saw in the thing with his mom, and like, you know, she was reading something. So I was like, okay, I walk in, they're like, "Okay, you know, you're perfect. You're the only one we have selected," and blah, blah. "But we're ready to send you out on auditions. We can send you out to this, to that, to that, to that. But you have to take these classes with us first."
Oh,
you know, it's like
no.
$6,000
Oh,
and blah,
no.
blah.
That's so messed up.
And it's so sad because I know there are kids who would have done it, you know?
Yeah.
Mom who are like, "Yes, you know, she's the chosen one," or whatever.
So you knew, though. You were like, like,
Yeah,
I know this is Sam.
Also, I didn't have $6,000 to give anyway, so I was like, oh yeah, let me think about it. It was like last chance because usually these classes are $12,000. We're giving you a 50% discount. That's how much we believe in you.
No way.
And I was like, I'll think about it. I was like,
So
what price would you say yes to? And I was like,
They're like,
I'll
come on,
let
give
you
us,
know.
can you give us
yeah,
$2?
yeah. Give
Just
us a
two.
number. Yeah.
Give a dollar?
Yeah.
Can you buy us lunch?
yeah. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Then I left. And then it was my dad actually who was like, why don't you look up other people who look like you who are on TV, kind of see how they did it, and then follow their path. So then I like Wikipedia'd Aziz Ansari because he was the only brown person on TV at that time. So I was like, okay. And on there it said started his career as a stand-up comedian. So I was like, okay. Then I Googled. I'd never seen stand-up before this. So I Googled what stand-up comedy is, saw a couple of YouTube videos. And I remember because it was a Monday during work. And I was like, why am I at work?
So you were an accountant?
Yeah,
Holy
at that
shit.
time. I was an accountant at work. And I like started Googling, blah, blah. And then Acme Comedy Club is like, it's like a big, very big comedy club. Their open mic have like 200-ish people there, right? So, and that...
In Minnesota.
In Minnesota. And that time, that used to happen on Monday. So this all is happening Monday. Look at what stand-up comedy is, kind of have an idea. Okay, you just go on stage and say funny things or tell a funny story or whatever, right? And then I went to this open mic. So the time that I saw my first ever stand-up clip and the time I did stand-up were maybe a couple of hours apart. So I was like, okay. So I went to this open mic, signed up, got on stage for 3 minutes, said some things. Some people laughed. And I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, that was like 7 years ago
You were like,
now.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I was
can
like,
do
okay,
this.
I guess this is how you did.
John Casablanca's modeling agency on Better Business Bureau has a 1.25 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, there you go.
It
There
is
you
the
go.
worst rated business.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
they're still going?
100%. Yeah.
Oh no, they're still ripping people off.
Everyone's just being like, I was gaslit. This was a scam.
See? Yeah.
They started calling me names and talking down to me once I said I didn't want to take the class.
Yeah, right?
Crazy.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I
You
was
should
like,
do a Netflix documentary about this guy.
John Casablancas.
Yes.
Dude, it was the most cartoonish thing ever.
That is so
When I tell you,
insane.
have you seen what's that Marvel TV show, Daredevil?
Yes.
Have you seen the bad
No,
guy?
why did I say yes? I haven't
You haven't seen
that.
it?
No.
Have you seen Mike? Have you
No.
seen the Netflix thing, Daredevil? There's a bad guy in Daredevil. He is like a really big fat guy, like just bald.
Yeah.
Okay, like the comedian Stravos.
Yeah.
Imagine
Stavros?
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine him, no hair.
Yeah.
No facial, beard or whatever, facial hair, and just gold rings, gold chain, and a gold watch.
That's what he looked like.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what he looks like.
Yep. Like a three-piece
Anybody
suit.
in
Yes.
Oh,
Looks like
that's
that guy.
that's Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
looked exactly like him. Gold rings, a gold watch, gold chains over a three-piece suit.
Oh my
Just walked in like this.
God.
Who wants to be famous? With
Holy
strobe lights.
Fuck! If anybody in Minnesota
hilarious.
is listening, go and punch that guy in the face.
Yeah, call us 1-800. Yeah.
We'll give you acting classes for half price.
Yeah, and that's how I
Half
got
of-
into stand-up, and that's how I'm here now. So the acting thing happened, and before stand-up, in between that, One Direction became super famous, right? They had this documentary out, and, and Zayn Malik. Do you know Zayn Malik?
The singer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
One Direction, the hot brown guy, He was there, so I was like, I gotta be like Zayn Malik, I think that's what I gotta do, If not acting, I was trying for acting, but I was also like, I could sing, I've sang in the car before, So I would say I'm a very decent singer / good, but I'm not amazing or whatever. So there's The Voice. There were auditions going
Oh,
on
The
for that.
Voice Pakistan or
No,
The Voice here?
America.
Oh, wow.
I have auditioned for The Voice.
What did you audition with?
So, have you heard "Climax" by Usher?
Yes. Can you sing it for us, please? Come on. Sing a little bit. Of
No,
it. A little.
I can't.
Well, you auditioned with
I
that.
know, but I'll tell you what happened. Because I sang that song in my car, and I was like, it's a very hard song to sing because it starts with a falsetto, right? Have you heard that song?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I can do this. And
Yeah.
I've done it in my car before, right?
Yeah.
But this audition was like 7 a.m. It wasn't like the real audition. So before that, they're like,
Like
producers of.
they screen you.
Yeah. So there's like producers of the show
Right.
that, call you in for an audition. So it was at the convention center in Minneapolis, 7 a.m. I go there. And I've sang in the car. And there's been people who have told me, like, oh my God, you should like sing. You're like really. So I already have this in my head, I was.
People or his mom, but
Yeah, or girls that I've dated. They're like, "Oh my God, you're such a great singer," and I'm like, "Oh really? Yeah, yeah." And I think it got to my head a little bit because when I went in there, there's like 300 people, right? But I was very confident. I was like, "I got this."
I love that.
So I went in with that attitude, right? Like, I'm not even talking to anybody because I'm like, none of these guys are gonna get selected, but I will.
You're like, John Casablanca selected me, so
So I just went in with that attitude, which to this day I don't know why. I didn't drink water or anything, haven't talked, just a dry throat, People are doing like vocal exercises on the side, and I'm looking at them and I was like, don't need to do
Losers.
that, Right before I go into the audition room, there's this girl outside. She had like the golden ticket or whatever. So it was like a red paper in her hand. And I was like, oh, congratulations. She goes like, thank you so much. I was like, what did you sing? She was like, well, I sang this song, but it really doesn't matter. They're trying to see how confident you are. So already I'm confident. I hear this. I just extremely overconfident. I was like, I got to go in with a big dick, So walk in. It's like 8 of us, auditioning in front of these 3 judges. I'm at the very end. So we're standing in line and everybody has to face the judges and then sing their song, right? Everybody just does horrible, right? Super. I'm getting confident contestant by contestant that I got this, right? Haven't drank water since 7 a.m. It was like 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. maybe. Haven't talked to anybody because I'm like, I got this. As soon as I opened my mouth, my voice cracked immediately. It was so bad, everybody started laughing. Oh, no! Out loud. Even the judges, that laugh, they did that laugh. And I was so embarrassed. And then they were like, it's fine. It happens to everybody. You can go ahead. We'll give you another try. So I was like, okay, confident. Well, you got this. 2 seconds in, cracked again my voice.
Shit.
They didn't even have to say anything. I just walked back into the line. And then they were like, okay, you guys just practice more, come back next year
And
or
that's
whatever.
when you knew that God wanted you to be a
Stand-up
comic.
comedian. And that's when and on the way back, that's when I called my dad up and I was like, hey, what should I do? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
You're not going to sing even a little bit of it for
No.
us?
No.
Just the beginning.
No.
Just to
Yeah. And that's how it went. It was literally like, and I did this, and they were like, what the fuck? And I was like, okay, confident mode. Go. And I stopped, and I just walked back, and I was like, I can't do this.
see. But you know what? You did
I
it.
went in the car.
You
Yeah, that's
did
true.
it.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
didn't not do it. You didn't go home before you went in. You did it. You have the experience.
I was
now.
so confident I got this, man.
I love that. Where do you think that comes from?
It was just that. I think. I
But
was
where
like,
do you think the confidence comes from?
I don't have confidence anymore. That's the problem.
After that?
No, never in my life have I ever had confidence in anything I've ever done. Even to this day, when I get up on stage, I'm like, why would they even laugh? I suck, I don't know what happened that day that I was like, yeah, I got this. This is made for me. I don't know why. Maybe because I was singing in my car the night before and I just recorded myself and listened back to it and I was like, pretty good, Maybe I was like, oh, this is my calling,
What is your
No.
dream role? Do you have one? Is there something where
Do you have a dream role?
No, that's why when I said it, I was like, I actually hate when people ask me that
Really?
question. Because I'm always like,
But what do you want to do
what do you mean?
in acting?
In acting?
Yeah. Like something that you're like, oh, I would love to do.
There's
this.
like people I'd love to work with, you know?
Okay. You did work with like somebody that I admire a lot, Kumail. How was that?
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, very fun.
How
That was
is he
very,
as a
very fun.
person?
Super nice, and it was fun. It was very fun because we got to improvise and stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fun. How jacked is he really in real life?
Well,
Did you look at him and you were like, damn,
when
that's
he came over
strong.
to my hotel room. No, he was wearing clothes. I don't know. He
I know,
was
but
pretty
still,
big,
you know,
I guess.
sometimes you look at people and you're like, that
No,
guy's muscular. You
he-
didn't feel that way?
He was wearing a suit and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that he was like crazy muscular.
Be honest.
But they also like toned it down a little bit for that show.
For that
Yeah.
role, yeah. It was
Yeah.
Chippendales.
Sorry, yeah, we're talking about the show Welcome to Chippendales on
Yeah,
Hulu,
on Hulu.
and I'm in episode 5 of that show.
Yeah.
But no, there's more like people that I'd want to work with, and I'd like to play like more like I would love to play like a gremlin, like beings, like stuff like
Really?
that, and men, like a little man, like stuff like that. I've always loved that since I was like a teenager.
I don't know why I can totally picture that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you loving to play that. Just like
Yeah.
with a weird voice. Like, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Hello there.
yeah. Just I auditioned
just a
with a
British person.
male role in high school for this performing arts school, and they were like, "Why would you do that? That's a man. That's a man's role." And I was like, "You guys suck. In 20
Yeah.
years, you're all getting canceled."
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like people I'd like to work with, and yeah, I would love to like play some creatures or something. You know,
Top 3 people.
well, Guillermo del Toro,
Okay. Yeah.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
But also I'm a '90s person.
Okay.
You know, and probably like Jim Jarmusch.
I don't know who that is.
Get the fuck out of here.
You don't want to be famous? Get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know who that
Well,
guy
look him
is.
up.
Yeah. Can you look it up, Mike? Can you show me his face?
He's a director.
Oh, what movies has he directed?
Night on Earth, Dead Man. You know the Ghost Dog?
Nope. I haven't heard
Coffee and Cigarettes. You don't know?
none of these movies.
Stranger Than Paradise.
None of these movies.
They're
Have you seen any of one of these movies, Mike? Have you? Damn. Okay. Now that I think about, my dream is not. I want to work in a project with a lot of brown people where it's not about us being brown.
I love that. You
You
should
know.
write it.
Yeah, I have.
Great. Motasham. I always ask my guests if they grew up with any cool sayings or anything like that. You said you have a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot of saying.
I looked up
Give me an
some.
example. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Tell me
I
what
looked
you
up one. Okay.
Okay.
Dud kajala chachbi punkir pitai.
What?
Is that something? Can you read it out loud? In
दूध का जला छाछ भी फूंक कर पीता है. दूध का
exactly
जला
how I
छाछ भी-
pronounced
What
it.
the hell?
And it means
That-
a person burnt by milk drinks even the cold milk by blowing on it.
Yeah, I have never heard anybody in Pakistan say
Why are you
that.
guys blowing milk?
I don't know.
heard
What
that?
else? Is that the
You've
only?
never heard that?
No.
It implies once bitten, twice shy. It is used to describe someone who has learned from experience in the past and won't
No.
make the same mistake again.
No. We have the same. There's a lot of like sayings that are the same, you know, like kal kare so aaj kare so ab, which means,
Oh, yeah. We use that all the time.
yeah, you actually do. It's like, hey, why do it tomorrow when you can do it today? Why do it today when you can do it now?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like, hey, like, chop, chop, get
Yeah,
on.
in German, it's morgen, morgen, nur nicht heute, sagen alle faulen Leute. And it rhymes
Yeah.
and it means tomorrow, tomorrow, just not today is what all lazy people say.
Yeah, that's a little
so
bit harsh.
German.
That's so harsh.
German.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
all lazy people
You
say.
are lazy. Yeah.
Go into the showers now. Not tomorrow.
You must get clean now. I don't know. I can't do a German accent.
Motasham.
Yeah, no saying.
It's time to play a little game called Immigrant Jam Headquarters Pole Position Games United.
Okay.
That's
Do I
not what
win
it's called,
something?
but it's fine. Yes, you win something.
Okay.
Yeah, if you win.
Yeah. Oh, I will.
Okay.
No.
All right. Motasham Yakub.
Uh-huh.
If you had to make up a dance for the United States of America,
Yeah.
what would the dance be? And please show us.
Yeah, that would yeah. Yeah.
If you had to make up a proverb
Hmm.
for all Americans
Yeah.
to live by forever and evermore,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
would it be?
I would love to answer that if you would explain what a proverb is. I would love to answer that question now. What is a proverb?
A proverb is like a wisdom.
Give me an example.
What we just read.
Oh, like a saying kind of like
Yeah.
this. Like, do tomorrow. If you don't,
Yes.
you're lazy.
Right.
You know. Whether you vote red or whether you vote blue, just know rich are getting rich and poor are getting poor. I don't know. That's exactly what it would be. Yeah, thank you. You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Whether you vote red, whether you vote blue, just know America #1
And no health care for you.
for you. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. If you could deport one American person, who would you deport?
This guy that I owe a lot of money to. That'd be
Nice.
very nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So John Casablancas.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
If you were casting a movie about the Statue of Liberty, who would you cast?
As the Statue of Liberty, Ana de Amaris.
What's the most Pakistani thing you've ever done?
What's the most Pakistani thing I've ever done? Like this was only 22 minutes late to this podcast.
Okay. What's the most American thing you've ever done?
Did not apologize for it.
Okay, last question, very important. Please
Yeah.
be serious.
Okay,
This
okay.
is a serious
Okay, this
thing
this
here.
is a serious
No,
one.
this is
Okay.
serious. Really.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, ready? Do you know how I can meet David Hasselhoff?
If you showed me a picture,
He's right behind me.
oh, that's David Hasselhoff. Isn't he dead?
Why does everybody think David
Really?
Hasselhoff is dead?
Is he alive?
Yes, of course
Oh my
he's
God.
alive.
Where is that? Is he a LA guy or a New York guy?
He's an LA guy. He's a Malibu guy.
Oh, I didn't see his face. Yeah. I can.
You know who he is.
Yeah, I can make it happen. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you know someone?
Yeah. Ana de Termas.
Okay, you do indeed get a prize.
Is it like something American in there? Here's a gun.
You get a bagel. Your prize is a bagel.
Thank you.
How happy are you right now?
I'm very happy. Oh my God. What was that movie? Almost Everything, Everywhere, Everyone, All at Once.
Motasham, sorry. Where can people find you on social media?
30 would. Oh, okay. I was giving my address. At Motasham Yaqub.
How do you spell that?
MOHTASHAM YAQUB. Pretty sure when you get to MOHT, it will come up. Because apparently I'm the only one.
Okay, great. Follow Motasham on
Please.
all the social medias.
Yes.
Check out everything he does. He will be very famous and married to Ana de Armas.
De Armas.
She will bribe him into marrying her.
Yeah. Ana de Motasham.
Ana de Motasham, exactly. Follow him everywhere. Thank you to Douchebag Steve, to JT, to Gio, to Craig, to everybody who listens. Thank you to
Yay.
Mike Albanese. Mike
Albanese,
Albanese.
Mike Albanese, Mike Albanese. Ooh,
Ow!
ooh, ooh. Yeah.
Yes. And thank you to you,
Yeah.
Motasham Yaqub.
Thank you to
for being
you.
here. Thank you to you.
Thank you to you
No,
too.
thank you to you.
Happy birthday to you.
He's losing it,
Happy
people.
birthday.
This was fun. Please check out the Patreon. There's extras on there. Yes. Pictures of Motasham's feet will be on there. And
I have very beautiful feet.
do you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
It's
We'll
not
have a
joke.
picture of his
I
feet.
have very nice feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Will you donate a picture of your feet to
I
the
would
Patreon?
100% do that.
Oh my God, this is exciting. Okay, guys, whether you want it or not, you're getting a
Yeah,
picture.
this is how good it was. When I was a kid, my mom would take me shop. Whenever she would like shoe shop, she would take me with her and try shoes on my feet because your feet are so pretty. I just want to see what shoes look like
Okay,
on nice
you
feet.
really buried the lead there.
Trust me, very nice.
Alrighty. Maybe we'll have Moto-chan back to explain that whole thing.
Yeah.
And also, maybe now we know why the trauma is so deep.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for
Thank
being
you for
here.
having
Thank
me,
you to
yeah.
Essa Bagel for not sponsoring these bagels, but for making them. And we'll be back soon. Thank you so much for listening. Give us a review, a rating, 5 stars. It helps so much. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.